Yeah, look at that. That's very nice. Um, so this is the one I used today, and oh, the interior. Remember I did transformation of interior from black to cream leather. What was that? It should be 2013 or thereabouts. No, not 2013, like maybe 2018 or 2019. It was sometime around that time. So, um, okay. So I want to do a video on an important subject. Now it's about catalytic converter. I know a lot of people in Nigeria are discouraged in buying catalytic converter for their Peugeot vehicles. Um, what I mean is, when their catalytic converters are stolen, they feel discouraged to replace them. Because what's the point when you buy another one and put, they steal them again. For Peugeot cars, there are some that when they steal your catalytic converters, you probably won't be able to, you even know that your catalytic converter is stolen. People assume that because one model of Peugeot car will warn you on the multifunction display instrument panel that your catalytic converter has a problem or is absent. You assume that all Peugeot cars will do the same. No, it's not all Peugeot cars that will show you that catalytic converter faulty when something is wrong with it or when it's stolen. In fact, even some Peugeot model, even when you scan the vehicle, and of course, since the catalytic converter is electronically monitored, instead of it to show you the catalyst is out, it still will not show. Okay, so so the point is, you probably might think yours have that part on the vehicle. It's possible it's no longer there. You might be thinking, okay, what if the sound? Usually when catalytic converter is removed, the sound will change. Sound of the exhaust, sound will change, sound of the engine, but it's more like sound of the exhaust will change. But it's not all model will do that. Yeah, well done. And some, when you remove them, the fuel consumption will go high. But on some Peugeot models, fuel consumption will basically, I won't say remain the same, but kind of similar with and without catalytic converter. So we'll really tell from there. Okay, so back to the main reason for the video. So like I said, people do feel discouraged after their catalytic converter has been stolen to replace it because of the high cost. It can be very expensive, and you wouldn't want to spend all that money replacing it only for it to be stolen again. So they will choose to leave it like that. So to me, there is a way out. There is a way out for it. You don't use by buying putting back the catalytic converter. But this time, you put one that will actually discourage those people that steal catalytic converter from stealing yours. I know it might sound strange, but yes, there's a catalytic converter you might put in your car. Whoever that steals catalytic converter, if he sees that one on your vehicle, he will assume, man, even the the strength, the energy that will to put in to remove the catalytic converter for your vehicle is not even what he will get from the sale. Trust me. I mean, even the cost of transportation to go and sell it after selling it from your vehicle you may not even be able to cover it, the transportation money from the sale of this catalytic converter I want to talk about. So in that case, you gain, win-win. You still have catalytic converter and they will not steal it. So talking about new ones, not used ones. So the new ones you find, I'm talking about catalytic converters. You have ones that are designed, they sell like OEM, even though they are not OEM, but at least they are sold for specific, or they are designed for some Peugeot models, to fit in 406, fit in 407, 508 and the rest. They are not OEM, but they are new ones. But however, they are universal new ones, the ones that are not built specifically for any vehicle. So those ones means it's now up to, you won't find those ones in Peugeot shops. So, but for the ones designed for Peugeot vehicle, of course you get them from Peugeot shop. But this universal one, there are people who actually sell them. Not, there's no shop that not depend on any particular model. Yeah, Chief, well done. Yeah, so, for you to get that kind of catalyst, you need to go to that shop or such shop to look for it. So they are called universal catalytic converters. Now the qualities are not that high. Yes, they're not that high. So the reason why I prefer them is because the quality is not that high. Selling them won't make any money from the thieves. However, they will still serve that purpose. The only downside is they will not serve as long as those high quality ones. But then it makes no sense to do the high quality ones only for it to be stolen the next day. So those universal ones, I'm probably going to use. There was one I did recently for someone on his 406. So I'm going to put that picture or use the picture I took as the thumbnail for this video. Or if I can, or maybe you'll start it on this video. But I haven't really gone that deep into editing videos. So how to insert pictures in the videos. Maybe one of these days I will go and learn it, so that you see what I mean. So what you try to do is you buy it, you look for, they have different shapes, sizes. So you go with your cylinder, your catalytic converter cylinder, the one on the vehicle. Then from there you look for the side, the one that will fit in properly on the exhaust pipe, that matches the one that is already on the pipe, exhaust pipe. And most times I just give it out. Find somebody. All these panel beaters, they are very good at doing that kind of work. They will look at it, check the size. You can also look at the size yourself, but then see how they will cut it so that it can fit in. So it's not a plug and play thing. They have to do some welding and cutting and welding for it to match. Now I've done it for a few people's, like 2, 3. Okay, let's just average of 5. So far, they are still running. The car is not showing any sign of failed catalytic converter or not. So that's what I would recommend. So let's find somewhere I can sit and talk. So back to what I was saying. So I've actually done a video concerning, how many minutes? 12 minutes now. So I've actually done a video concerning what's it called? How you can, this catalytic converter, how you can do this new catalytic converter thing. So this type I'm talking about, I did a video, I did it on mine, which 407 Cool. I did it on that car. So so far it's been working. When was that? Was it not last year? If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. So it's been working well and it's still there. It costs almost half the price of buying a new one, which is also not OEM. Because if you go and buy the new one that is meant for your car, they will assume that it's OEM. But you do that cut and join. Once they see that welding work cut and join, they will assume obviously this is the so-called fake one. So in that case, they know they won't sell, because they don't even buy. All those people that steal catalytic converters and the people that buy from them, they don't buy such. They don't buy all those type from them. So they will discourage them from buying it or from stealing yours. So that way, it solves the problem. Last time I did mine, that was like I said, how much? I'm not sure it cost me. I think 20 something to 30,000. Everything. That, I mean, including the purchase, the welding work, and the I engaged one panel beater to do everything for me. So including the removal, the cut and join, and then mounting it back. So I think I spent about 30,000 there. But now, of course, the price has gone up, because I know the last I did for somebody, depending on the size anyway, I think it was like 40 something or so. Depends. Yeah, cheaper ones, of course, there will still be quality differences, even with those universal catalytic converters. Now, some might be wondering, okay, why bother with catalytic converter, even if it's those cheap ones, when my car is not giving me any issue without it. Personally, there's no point in running without catalytic converter, from personal experience. Even if you're okay with the fuel consumption, you just okay. Let me revise what I just said. Depending on your Peugeot model and your emission system, there are some Peugeot models that can do without catalytic converter perfectly well. However, not all. There are Peugeot models that have up to 4 catalytic converters. So in that case, you can actually do without 2 and leave 2, and the car will still function well without failing emission, and it will have effect on the performance of the vehicle. However, if your Peugeot vehicle has a catalytic converter on the exhaust manifold or very close to the exhaust manifold, don't bother removing that catalytic converter. You just will not, I don't think you won't get really much. As long as it's those ones that are very, very close to the exhaust manifold or are actually part of the exhaust manifold, to me, it's pointless. As long as those big cylinders are there, you remove it and that cylinder remains empty, it's just pointless. I'm going to give you a story, reason why you should not also do that. So, okay, I think I can sit here. This is actually the secretariat. Right there is National Orientation Agency. The other side is Ministry of what's it called? Is it housing? Water resources. That's water resources. And this one is I'm trying to remember. And then this Ministry of Interior. This side. Then that's Ministry of Trade and Investment. Okay, so let's continue. So there was this guy. that has a Peugeot vehicle with ES9J4 S engine. ES9J4S engine is a V6 engine. So I don't want to mention the model of the Peugeot vehicle. So he was using this car. I also have worked on this car, driven it on various occasions. So at one point, he decided to remove the catalytic converter. I think that the one there was kind of partially blocked or something. So he first removed the catalytic converter, the one, there are, okay, ES9J4S comes with 4 catalytic converters. So he removed the one which is under the vehicle, not the one on the exhaust or close to the exhaust manifold. So he removed those ones. There was no issue. However, when he eventually removed the other 2, which is what we call pre-catalytic converter, the one under the car called main catalytic converter. So the one on the exhaust manifold, when he removed those 2, according to him, the performance of the car improved rapidly. He felt the performance. But then he said I don't know how long it took him to observe. Suddenly the car exhaust started smoking, started bringing out bluish smoke, and he now observed that the engine started consuming oil rapidly. He now saw, I think he was using 5W40 at the time, and the consumption was so bad that I think probably in a day with that 5W40 probably was consuming like maybe half a liter of oil or close to a liter of oil in a day. So it was that bad. Eventually he now switched to either 10W40 or 20. In fact, let me put it in another way. Eventually ended up using 20W50 because of how high the consumption became. But then it didn't affect the power of the vehicle, because actually when he bought it, I drove the car, because I have known the car for years while I was using it with 5W40 and no issue. But when that thing started, bought the car, I drove it, and the power was just normal, the way ES9J4S power will be. So the oil consumption didn't affect it. The engine didn't show, it wasn't behaving as if it was weak, but then it was very, as in you need to see cloud of blue smoke that was coming out from the exhaust. Now what he said was, he observed this after he removed the catalytic converter, the one on the pre-catalytic converter very close to the exhaust manifold. Then this started. Now I cannot confirm if truly the absence of the catalytic converter on those exhausts or close to the exhaust manifold was the cause of this oil burn. So eventually he decided to change the engine. So when he changed the engine, so he said, let's find out what actually happened to the engine that was blowing that smoke. So we removed the cylinder head, and now found out that the cause was from the cylinder 6. If I even before we removed it, you could tell something was wrong with cylinder 6, because that cylinder 6 kept killing spark plugs. No matter how, if you put spark plug today, by tomorrow, few days later, the spark plug will be dead, as a completely dead. So when we now inspected, we now saw that cylinder 6, the cylinder walls have already worn completely. It has gone very deep. The pistons was just shaking. It wasn't tight at all in any way, shape or form. So what I could conclude was that the rings on that particular cylinder broke. But every other cylinders, pistons, rings, everything were all intact. But that cylinder 6 had that problem. So now, what could be the cause? Could it actually be because they removed that catalytic converter on the pre-catalytic converter on that engine, which he said that was when he immediately removed it. He now observed this. It might not be that same day, maybe, I don't know, or it could also be the harm was already done, but this one kind of accelerated the issue. So the second story was also someone that used ES9A this time. Of course, ES9A and ES9J4S are like basically same engine. Of course, not identical, but I always use the word same engine. So say a V6 engine. So according to the person, now this I do not know this vehicle. I'm not driving it. I've not worked on it. So it's just what the person told me that I'm relaying here. So the guy had issue with his catalytic converter and then on his ES9A engine, and ES9A has only 2 catalytic converters, unlike the ES9J4 that has 4. So he removed those 2, which are the ones close to the exhaust manifold. He removed them, and according to him, the power engine performance became very, very interesting. It was in fact, he started enjoying the car at that time as if it was a different vehicle. Which could be because maybe as the point of removal, the catalyst was actually blocking before he bought the car, so eventually it blocked and the car performance dropped. So when he now removed it, he went back to how the engine was supposed to be. Or it's possible that actually removing of that catalyst there will actually improve, some will say increase the car power. No, what I usually say, it will increase the power delivery to the wheel, not necessarily increase the engine power. The engine power will remain the same. I expect it to remain the same, but the only thing is, with those catalysts there, the full engine power may not get to the wheel. But or even if it does, it won't get to the wheel as most people want. But with the absence of it, it will improve how it delivers it much quicker. So in other words, it actually makes them quicker. That's what I would say. It makes them much quicker in terms of acceleration. They become faster, even with the same power, but faster. So the power will get to the wheel much faster than with the catalyst that probably will delay it a little. Okay, so according to him again, the engine started smoking very bad, started blowing out blue smoke. It started consuming oil to the point that he also switched to 20W50. I can't remember exactly if that's what he said, but the consumption was that bad that according to him, on the road, it looks like there's a cloud from the sky following him behind. Blue. Wanted to know what could be the cause, which he said he observed after he removed the catalyst. Of course, it might not be immediately. So that's what I'm saying. Still, I cannot confirm if his observation was correct. It's possible the issue was there, but not that bad until now removed the catalyst, and now boom, enough like jump completely. And so the point is to avoid having that experience, just don't remove it. It's like I said, it probably might not be the cause, or it's possible that the harm was already done. I don't know. Especially that for that ES9J4S one I saw, the way the rings was broken, I don't know. I just kept wondering what could have caused it. What could have made the rings to break? Because it was obvious that the ring broke there, not that the rings won. No, it was broken. So it's possible that this ES9A too, the second guy had that same issue. One of the cylinders had the broken rings after they removed the catalytic converter. So that's what I'm saying. I do not know what happened in the second person's case too, whether it was actually the rings that broke. But based on what I saw on the ES9J4S, so it's possible that's what happened too. And both of them claimed this started after they removed the catalytic converter. The one very close to the exhaust. So now there are people like a few guys in Europe that says what they do in theirs is when they remove the catalyst very close to the exhaust, or that is part of the exhaust manifold, they don't leave that cylinder empty. They most time what they do is they narrow it to fit in. It's as if it becomes exhaust pipe instead of having that drum there. So they modify that part. Maybe they cut off the cylinder, get a pipe that can be able to fit in and tight on the manifold. Or they will change the manifold completely and put something else that doesn't have that drum. It will just be normal, like normal pipe or stuff like that. So, and in that case, they don't, according to them, it doesn't give them issues. So, or maybe the drum, the cylinder, they stuff it, put stuff inside that will be more porous than the catalytic converter, so that it won't be that empty. And then in that case, it may not affect the car or the engine. So you could do the experiment and see if it works for you, but personally I wouldn't bother. Like I said, since there's a cheaper way of doing this thing, do it. Catalytic converter, there's one that, like I said, that if it's ES9J4S, it has 4. If you remove the 2 main catalytic converter under the car, trust me, you start enjoying your engine or your vehicle, and still your car will not fail emission even when you take it for test, like what they do in UK called MOT. People that have done it in UK, they take it there, they didn't fail, so you shouldn't worry about that one. So if I were you, if you own a Peugeot car with ES9J4S, remove those 2 catalytic converter, the ones under, leave the other 2, the ones they call pre-catalytic converter, attached close to the engine or exhaust manifold. But another thing I need to point out, the ES9J4S one, the one that the engine started smoking after I removed the catalytic converter. This is what I experienced, as in it happened in my presence. As the engine was smoking badly with bluey smoke, it was also bringing out horrible looking black smoke. ES9J4S was bringing out horrible looking black smoke, as in, which means excessive fueling. So eventually he had to put catalytic converter, even before he changed the engine, put back catalytic converter on the car. But because the mechanical issue has happened, that's the rings have already broken, so he couldn't stop the burning of the oil or the blue smoke. However, immediately he put back the catalytic converter, the black smoke issue went away. Because I knew it was that absence of catalytic converter that was causing the black smoke. The catalytic converter, because I did the diagnosis, it was not showing any faults that has to do with the injection system, aside the absence of catalytic converter. I mean, nothing else was wrong with the injection system. But immediately you put back the catalyst, of course. So understand too that depending on your injection ECU, which is the engine ECU, you might actually have that fuel issue, high or excessive fuel issue or excess fuel consumption issue if you remove your catalytic converter, especially those one close to the exhaust manifold. Now I also know there's another for ES9J4S user that remove all the catalytic converter on the vehicle, including the one on the manifold, close to the manifold, and then the one under. Those 4 of them. Yeah, the car was not bringing out black smoke. It wasn't bringing out black smoke. Whether I affected the engine, the person did not complain. And I'm not sure he did, because I know I think even a year later, I saw the car at one point or so. I didn't see smoke. So which means it's kind of question whether the absence of catalytic converter will actually affect the engine. So I know I'm taking time to explain all these things, but the reason why I'm saying I don't know. I can't tell you for a fact that removing catalytic converter on the exhaust manifold or the one close to the exhaust manifold will damage your engine. because another one person that did it proves otherwise. It didn't affect. But two people that did claim it affected, or that it was the cause. And there was some other person that did, there was not black smoke, another person did, there was black smoke. But what I do know is generally, on average, absence of catalytic converter do affect fuel consumption a little, especially if the car is meant to run with catalytic converter, as in it's tuned into the injection ECU. It will affect it. It might be very significant anyway, but they do affect. You expect just a little increase on the fuel consumption. May not be that much, a little, unless there are people after doing it, they will map the ECU so that it may even work better and consume less without it. Then also there are some Peugeot cars, for example, ES9 J4. Honestly, if you own an ES9 J4 engine, which is also a V6, I don't think you need to bother about catalytic converter, unless maybe you don't want it to fail emission. So, but other than that, those ones, just like 505 V6 or those others, those ones actually do without the catalyst. Like I said, unless maybe it's illegal in your country to drive your car or remove your catalytic converter from your vehicle. Yeah, but in terms of whether it will affect the engine, at that time the catalytic converters were even very far away from the engine, so I don't think it will have any effect. So you can do without them. But if you want to follow the law of the country in terms of emission, yeah, you should have them there, or replace them when they are bad, or put this new universal one there to prevent or discourage thieves from stealing the vehicle, stealing the catalytic converter. There are some Peugeot models that can actually do that won't have much effect, like Peugeot 406 with EW10 J4 engine. Some of them, if you remove catalytic converter, the fuel consumption will shoot up. Some same engine, same model of Peugeot 406, if you remove, it won't have any effect. Like the RFR, they don't have much effect without catalytic converter. In terms of fuel consumption, they don't have much effect. But RFN, yeah, it will have effect. Not that much, but you feel the slight difference without the catalytic converter, depending on the RFR. Like the RFR, that's the Peugeot 406 assembled in Nigeria with EW10 J4 engine. Absence of catalytic converter doesn't really do them that much, even when it's not there. But those foreign assembled ones without RFN, ECU, yeah, you will feel it. So it all depends. My point is, whichever one, just leave it there, just get it there. The sound will be quieter, it won't be that loud, excessively loud. You know, there's a difference when the car is so loud and the performance is actually commensurate to the sound. But in this case, we just be noisy without actually doing what you should. You know, feeling the performance. So it doesn't make sense in that way. Okay, so I think that is it for now. It's almost 6 minutes, so I think I'll be ending this video. And so if you have just get catalytic converter on your project car. Like I say now, don't feel discouraged because they will steal it. There's a way you can do it now, and it stays intact without anybody touching it. You know, so do that universal constructed one and enjoy your car. You know, it might not, but understand that when you do it, your car will still be, or most cases, not all, will still be showing when you scan it that your catalytic converter is absent. There's a problem with your catalytic converter. Yeah, even though it's there, but it will be showing because remember it's not OEM. But however, what I've noticed is irrespective of how good or how quality a catalytic converter is, high or low, if it's not OEM, you always be getting that catalytic converter fault. That's my observation. So can as well just get. For me, the logic behind that universal own is, one, it discourages catalytic converter thieves from stealing yours. Two, at least the idea of fuel consumption, if your own system will increase the consumption without the catalytic converter, so that particular problem will be solved. Three, it takes care of the comfortable sound the exhaust produces without catalytic converter, if it's meant to be there. There are ways you can take care of that sound without catalytic converter too. For example, you mount you do those, you remove the cylinder and do a straight pipe instead. The straight pipe will have its own sound, different, but at least it won't be that noisy, you put some stuff inside it, and it will it will make the cylinder behave as if there's catalyst inside it, so it will take care of the sound, at least to a large extent. So those are the three reasons for me that you should have it. It's not that expensive. Now, how long will it last? I don't know. But I know for a fact it won't last as long as the OEM will do. Don't bother with used ones, unless if you're buying used ones, you do it as if, I don't even know. Because used ones, if they know, especially those thieves, once they see that as the OEM, they will steal it again. So that's why I don't really even. The every time you buy, I don't know, in fact, I don't know. You can risk it, but new used ones, OEM used ones means it's most like it's going to last longer than, as long as it's still in very good condition. You expect it to last longer than these universal new ones that are not high quality, especially the ones in found in Nigeria. So, yeah, but then you probably, the sound will be taken care of, the fuel consumption will be taken care of. However, that number one reason I gave earlier, which is discouraging thieves from stealing yours, is not taken care of. So you probably lose it sooner than you expect. There's still this thing that it's very difficult to trust any mechanic now when it comes to leaving your vehicle with them, and the catalytic converter on your vehicle is still OEM or genuine one. It's very, very difficult. I mean, you have to know a mechanic to some extent to know that he's not the type that will steal it. Like I said, I might do it, we even know. Okay, so I think that brings it to the end of the video. Yeah, look at the car. I honestly love this Z9. Kind of looks very outstanding, luxury, and this is one of the best things that happened to me owning this Z9. A lot of people hate this car, say it's too problematic, it's this and that, it's too big. I mean, there's nothing they don't talk about this car. But I don't think I have the energy anymore to trying to encourage people to buy or not to buy. Honestly, who cares? Okay, so that's it for this video.